Thank you, Chris. I was lucky enough to be able to speak to the sweet potato industry about their almost brand new promotional levy. The sweet potato industry decided to introduce a 1% levy to coexist with the current research and development levy of 0.5%. I was able to speak to Mr. John Maltby, who we see here, who is the Secretary of the Australian Sweet Potato Industry Incorporated, a not-for-profit organisation run by the Sweet Potato Growers of Australia. John was able to take my questions to their board meeting, which I was lucky enough to get in contact with him 1 week before that happened. And as a board, they looked over my questions and got back to me within a couple of weeks with the answers for our presentation. The responses that they gave me were that the reason for pursuing the promotional levy was that the sweet potato industry estimate that over the last 16 years, production has grown by a whopping 1,700%, which has not been matched by consumption, not even close at this stage. In order to maintain and hopefully increase farmers' returns, they were going to have to do something. At the board meeting in August of 2008, a motion was carried and passed that they would employ a consultant to advise on levy structure and a possible promotional levy. After numerous phone calls, numerous meetings, a change in government, which meant presenting all the information twice. Finally, in December of 2015, the motion was passed for a promotional levy on sweet potatoes. In order to get that levy across the line, a plant materials levy did need to be started that raised over $100,000 that went straight into the research and development of the promotional levy. It was a long and costly process, but the outcome is that the Sweet Potato Growers Incorporated estimate the new levy will raise over $800,000 to go towards promotion and education of consumers. Although it's in its early stages and we can't gauge the success or failure of the new levy, we do believe as a team that the new levy is a step in the right direction and should do amazing things for the sweet potato industry. Their plan for the money would be initially to establish a baseline for consumption that will be assessed in 5 years' time when the levy is assessed, indicate key market segments, eventually a social media campaign of some description, and they have already began in-store demonstrations across Australia with sweet potato growers. Mr. John Maltby and the board on the sweet potato growers incorporated, believe that their success in getting the levy over the line was due to the fact that in Australia there are only two major growing regions for sweet potato, Queensland and New South Wales, with Queensland being the majority stakeholder there. The recommendations that we have coming out of this is that if the vegetable industry is to introduce some sort of promotional or marketing levy, then they really need to get a wriggle on. The whole process needs to be sped up to avoid having to spend so much of growers' money on the process. I'll now hand over to Andrew, who will